Welcome to the Tahirah Show. Today's topic is entrepreneurship, daring to dream. Today I have my guests Aisha Sekou and Ibrahim Muhammad, and they're going to share their journey on the road to entrepreneurship. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Tahirah, for having us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We're going to go into a background of who you are, what did you do or what do you do before you started your own business, and what is your educational background. So we can start with you, Aisha.
Well, my name is Aisha Sekou, and this is not my first business. This business is called Street Corner Resources. It's actually a social service organization that provides education, employment, and training to young adults and adults, and also it helps to deal with some of the social ills in the community, as well as advocate for the community in different arenas.
Okay.
So that's basically what I do. My educational background, I have a Bachelor of Arts in English. I'm 12 credits shy away from a master's, and I'm published, and I write and host a radio show. So, and I guess I grew up in the Bronx,
yeah.
So that's really probably the bigger part of my education was growing up in the Bronx and what it took to be able to navigate that to go on to college.
Okay, thank you. And she is also my personal mentor, by the way. Ibrahim, how about yourself?
Yes. Hi. Assalamu alaikum, Tahirah.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Well, my name is Ibrahim, Muhammad. I'm 22 years old and I reside in Harlem. I grew up in Harlem. I was born and raised. I was born in Harlem Hospital. My background is in advertising and design. I'm an artist. I like to draw. And that was one of my hobbies when I was younger. I always had a passion for that. I went to Claire Muhammad School on 116th Street in Lenox.
Okay.
I started there in the 4th grade. And from there, I just went on. I was comfortable with the way that they taught, the way, the discipline, the strict rules that they applied to for us. And it really helped me to develop into a person, that thinks seriously about my future. And it helped me, with a lot of things, personal development, just put me in line to, just to be in the right situation at the right time.
I know you were dealing in a network marketing business.
Yes.
And what led you to start a network marketing business or becoming an independent rep?
Oh, yes. Well, what led me to the independent marketing business was I was attracted to just the benefits that I would get just by being around successful people. I didn't grow up around successful people. Well, my parents, they're very successful. I see them as very successful. I love my parents, They're my role models, they're my heroes. I just going into the realm of business, it was a transition, it was a big transition, and it really helped me to think differently about how to deal with people.
Okay.
And it just made me, it changed my mindset from thinking just having a job to being a business owner and becoming wealthy and teaching others, sharing experiences with other people,
Right. And that's what leads me to us defining ourselves. Because I was listening to a CD today that I got from Success Magazine, and it was Stedman Graham, one of the keynote speakers on the CD. He was talking about how important it is to define yourself and to not allow anyone to put you in a box or define who you are. So how important it is for you all to personally develop yourselves as a business owner?
Defining oneself is a constant thing. It's not like you say, this is who I am and this is just who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. It's always improving on the definition of you. So a part of me defining myself is that every morning I get up, I pray, I listen to Quran, and then I listen to something that has to do with business or personal development. And right now I'm listening to Andrew Morrison's boot camp. It's Andrew Morrison's small business camp. He happened to live in my community too, so I happened to kind of just bump into him one morning coming from the supermarket. But the things that you read and you listen to and the things that you do help define who you are.
Absolutely.
And so when I think about the definition of myself, I think about the things that I do in the community as well, working with young people to prevent gang violence and gun violence in my community. That's something I'm working on, which is also another way of defining myself and my space in my niche in my community. And it happens to be working very well. People are now beginning to see me as a leader in the community, so that means that that definition is taking shape.
Yes.
You know, a good way to know if you are defining yourself, if people know who you are and what you do, and if they begin to ask for that service or product, and then they see the character of you as you do what you do. And so I'm seeing the association of both. A woman called me yesterday and asked if I would help her with a woman. She's actually an investigator for the Supreme Court.
Okay.
And she has a case where a young man was selling drugs in his grandmother's apartment. His grandmother raised him. And he didn't realize that in New York City you can get put, the landlord has a right to put you out.
Get you out.
And so now the woman is facing eviction. And just the mere fact that someone told her to call me, that I could get some answers for her, get some help for her. And this woman works with the Supreme Court, you know. And then to get some services for the young man, we actually were able to get him connected into a drug program which takes him out of the space. But all of that tells you how people see you.
Yes.
And how you're defining yourself, and if you're on target with what it is that you say, that whoever it is that you say that you are, and what it is that you want to do.
Thank you. How about you, Ibrahim?
Okay. Well, I think it's very important to be able to have a good reputation, especially when you're in business, because you're dealing with so many people, so many personalities, that you have to just stay consistent. Consistency is key, and just going through changes. You have to get through any difficulties that you have, and that just shows you, the strength within a person, being able to get through a certain situation, being able to get your goal done, whatever you want to accomplish, being able to get it done. That proves that you are a person of great character, and that's very important in business, I think.
Very important. I know Aisha, she mentioned that she prays in the morning and she listens to Quran and then she plays one of her business CDs. What are some of the things that you do to continue to personally develop yourself?
Oh, well, a few of the things that I do. I also listen to CDs. I pray consistently, and I continue to associate myself with people that have like minds, so that I don't verge off into another mindset. Some of the CDs I listen to, Imam Wafdi Muhammad, I think he's a powerful person to listen to, because he delivers a message that talks about business, religion, and a lot of things on personal development. It just keeps me aware of what's going on in the world, and that's what I work from. I just I stay consistent with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know we have some viewers who are interested in possibly starting their own business, but they may work for someone. Can you explain your transition from being an employee to being a business owner?
Well, I have to say it has been a rough one. It's not, when you make a decision to have something of your own, it's not going to happen overnight.
No,
and you have to really be willing to hold on and hold the vision until the vision is realized, and even beyond that, because then there's bumps and bruises. So for me, I realized that I'm really not the kind of person that should work for someone else.
Yes.
I need to work for myself. One, I have my own clear ideas about the way that I like to do things.
Right.
I have a compassion for people that some people, when they're just trying to make the dollar for the business, can't see. And I think that we have to have a balance of both of those things. So the journey of starting this organization and getting it to get funded and that kind of thing and still has been a difficult one. But it's been a journey of learning. And one of the things is that you get introduced to who you really are.
Absolutely.
When the situations are adverse.
Absolutely.
And I found out that one of the things I had to learn to do early on was to discipline myself in terms of my time.
How so?
Well, I love the telephone.
Get off the phone, get off the phone.
I had to learn that during business hours, I shouldn't have time for idle conversation.
Right.
I'm not a big television watcher, but I like to have the TV on for background noise. And I had to learn that those things fill your head.
Right.
And you have to be careful of what's filling your head. So,
Absolutely.
and that not only that, the television is a magnet. And I hate to say this on television, but it is. It's a magnet. In order to get the most benefit from it, you know, in terms of whatever you're watching, you have to sit down and sit there. You know, you have to stay like glued. And so you can't get business done if you're sitting in front of the television watching the soaps or what have you.
Not during business hours.
So discipline is key.
Yes.
And then the other thing is money.
Okay.
And you have to be willing to do without a lot of the things that you were accustomed to having when you had a regular paycheck and regular money coming in. So it means that maybe you don't go and eat out 2 or 3 times a week.
Right.
And maybe you wind up eating out once a month. And,
Right.
you know, that kind of thing, because you have to reserve. So, you know, just
Yes.
it actually changes you. It makes you, if you really want it, it makes you discipline yourself, pull yourself together and assess your strengths and the things that you have. I don't like to say weaknesses, but the things you have to work on.
Absolutely, because when you're running a business or an organization, you have to be able to lead yourself first before you can lead others. And this is a good way to, as you said, discipline yourself and to pull yourself together to lead yourself so you can lead those who are going to come after you. Absolutely. How about you, Ibrahim?
Oh, definitely. Making the transition from employee to a business owner is definitely not the easiest road. I was an employee like all my life, basically just, you know, learning the ins and outs of working with people. I went on, actually, I spent most of my time with my father. He actually was a construction worker. And also a maintenance person. So I learned a lot about, you know, those fields. And it took me a long way. And it actually taught me to have good work ethic.
Okay.
Just staying consistent, staying persistent, believing in what you do, and always working hard and being honest. It gave me values that will last for you know, for a lifetime. So I love it. Like, I love working with people. You know, I love being gregarious. That's some of the things those are most of the things that I learned, just, you know, working hands-on with people. And, you know, and working in those fields helped me develop appreciation for what I do. And, you know, it helps me to push myself in the times that I need to be pushed.
Absolutely, because working in, I'm actually in the network marketing business myself, ACN, and I know that field, it can be tough because it's not like we birthed that idea. So we're joining a business that someone already created. So you really have to find your passion and why you want this opportunity and connect it to your own personal, one of your own personal goals. As far as you mentioned, you want to do graphic design and advertising. So I find myself focusing on my show as I build my network marketing business, because again, my show is my passion. This business is my vehicle to fund my passion. So I understand how you have to really hold on tight to why you do what you do. And we want to go into positive thinking, because one thing I constantly I read and listen to audios about your mindset. You have to have the positive mindset. You listen in the Quran, Allah talks to Prophet Muhammad in reference to not grieving, constantly being positive, not focusing on the lack of, or focusing on what you have. For those who either have their business, just starting a business, or who are thinking about going into business, can you be prosperous with a negative mindset?
Sure.
Okay.
There are some people who are prosperous but not happy.
Okay.
And that with a negative mindset. The other thing is that eventually negativity attracts negativity.
Okay.
And so eventually there's some downfall. And one of the most recent examples of that is Bernie Madoff, who negatively manipulated billions and billions of dollars from people and was able to live lavishly. And that same beautiful penthouse that was very expensive, very eloquently decorated, had become his prison. So that's a prime example.
And explain how so, how that became his prison.
Well, because he was on a bracelet, ankle bracelet. He couldn't leave his house.
Wow.
So because he had built so many people out of so many millions and billions of dollars, and some people committed suicide, and so on and so forth. So I don't want to dwell on that because I'd rather talk about how to be positive.
Right.
But that's a prime example of how you can be prosperous and be negative,
right.
but that the negativity will eventually, there's something called universal law.
Right.
What goes around comes around.
Right.
So you may get a chance to live like he did very, very well, and eventually those same things, those same wonderful trappings will become your prison.
Right.
And it's just such a fine example of that. But I'll tell you, in terms of being positive and developing business, is probably the better way to go. And I'll tell you why. Because when you put who you are and your good spirit and your good energy into doing what you do, you don't have to worry about all of those bad things coming back. Because likeness attracts likeness. Yes. So if you put out good energy comes your way. And so, people say, well, how do you do all that positive thinking stuff, The thing is it's the truth. What you put out comes back. And when people see that you put out good, they look for ways to help you do what you do. Actually, it's like honey. You begin to attract more and more people that are interested or showing some interest or can help you to bring something. Just recently, I met a gentleman. I was working in the Hope Center, and I'm working on a project there with young entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And this guy came in and he asked me for some help, and the computer wasn't working, and I was really in the middle of something. And I got up and I helped him. And he said, I just want to say thank you for helping me. He said, because you didn't have to. You work here? I said, no, I don't work here. And I said, but I believe that there's some treasure right here.
Yes.
I said, that with every person that I meet, I believe that there's a reason why I put it in front of me.
Absolutely.
And I said, so there's some treasure here. I said, so tell me what you do. And he said, oh, well, I do a lot of things. I market and I build websites. And I said, that's it. I said, so I need some help building a website for my organization. And I thought that he would forget about it. I gave him my card, and he called the other day and left me a message, and he left me 2 emails. So with enthusiasm, he didn't just call and say, well, I'm going to call because I said I would call. He called and he sent 2 emails to try to set some time for us to hook up to do that. So I'm just saying those kinds of things begin. Everything is not a dollar.
Right.
And prosperity is not always in money.
Right.
Prosperity is in things and thinking and good health and your children being well and being able to educate them and having a community that you can live in, that you don't have to look over your shoulder. Right. So that's prosperity. Right. It's more than just a dollar.
Yes, and I appreciate the comment. You mentioned how you connected with the brother at the Hope Center. Because one thing my business mentors always mention is talk to people. See what's going on in their lives. See how you can help them, not just how they can help you, but how you can help them. And that's what you did. You opened your mouth and you spoke to him. Ibrahim, when you're faced with doubts, moments of doubts, because we all go through moments of doubts, how do you quiet the chatter from the negative thinking and switching it to the positive thinking? And before you answer that, what are some of the things that go through your mind as the negative chatter plays?
Well, I want to say that a few of the negative things that go through my mind, are being that I wasn't always the person that I am now. Sometimes I reflect on the times that I didn't do so well, talking to people, and just being around people, being gregarious. So the things that I do to combat those thoughts, sometimes I jog. That's one of the things I like to do, and it helps me to relieve and take my mind off of some of those negative thoughts. Right. I also box. That's one of my hobbies, and I love
Better
boxing.
Watch out.
Yeah, slip. And being around people that help motivate me. Those are some of the things that I do to just refocus my energy and refocus my thoughts and refresh my mind. And also just being persistent, just keeping in mind the things that I want to do with my life, the reasons why, when I want to accomplish those goals, who can help me, and what I'm going to do. Those are some of the things that I dwell on.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I know. I'm always faced with moments of the negative chatter. You know, wanting to accomplish certain goals, and I may not reach them, or I'm thinking I'm not going to get there, or compare myself. You know, and what I do, or just becomes so overwhelming because I have big dreams, and it's a gradual process to accomplish it. It's not going to happen overnight or a short period of time. So I call Sister Aisha. I pray, I talk to Allah, like, help me just keep revealing and bringing people who needs to be in my life. And I have to work to work your way out of that negative thought and that mindset. I know most people, when they think of business owners, a lot of people think you can't have a strong spiritual background or foundation if you're trying to become wealthy. Do you face that obstacle? If you do, what do you do to balance it out? And if you don't, what advice would you give someone who feels, I can't be spiritual and wealthy at the same time?
Well, you know, I think spirituality helps build wealth. And, you know, again, I don't believe that wealth is just money.
Okay.
You know, you can ask any rich person who has poor health, and they will tell you wealth is not just money.
Right.
They wish that they could pay to be healthy rather than have all the money. So one, I would say, don't focus on, you know, I just want to be rich, because that attracts a lot of different things. So you have to ask for, in a spiritual way, the things that you really want to attract. In terms of your wealth.
Okay.
I would love to be wealthy. I'd love to be able to, my grandson's birthday is in a couple of days, to be able to have a jet and fly down to Florida for the day and watch him go to basketball practice and spend some time with him in his school and take him to Chuck E. Cheese or wherever it is. And then the thing that he asked me for his birthday, I'd like to be able to do that as well. He designed sneakers, and he said, Grandma, I want you to get my sneaker made that I designed.
Okay.
That's a big order. I would love to be able to do that. Wealth would bring that.
Yes.
But we have to look at wealth as not just money. You know, it's being able to have some of the things that you want and having your spirit in the right place. And so that when you get the money, you're able to really have the time to spend with your grandson and your family.
Gotcha. Holistic picture. How about you, Ibrahim?
Definitely. I agree with Sister Aisha. What she was saying about wealth. Being wealthy, having that, you know, mindset just to get rich it doesn't make you complete. Being in a mindset where you're just spiritual all the time doesn't make you complete either.
Right.
You have to have balance.
Right.
There's something called uswa in the Quran. That means the even balance.
Right.
It means that you have your spiritual life intact, and you also have your wealth. You also have your finances intact.
Understood. Thank you.
And there's also four major building blocks in someone's life.
Let's get through them.
One is government, one is finances, one is religion, and the other is family or culture. So you have to have each one of those operating in your life in order to be balanced, in order to be whole.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to move through these questions because I just got my signal. Street Corner Resources and Ibrahim in your network marketing business. How are you planning to give back to the people? Briefly.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'll just tell you, with Street Corner Resources, our giving back to the community is on a daily basis. I gave you an example of that with the woman from the investigator from the Supreme Court that called me. Not only that, we have a GED program. We'll be setting up in Salem United Methodist Church, where we'll actually have 15 computers that were donated to us by Verizon for Thinkfinity.org, a major literacy initiative put on by Verizon. And as well, we'll have a program in effect that we have just planned called YELI, Young Entrepreneur Leadership Learning Institute. of which Ibrahim is going to be a major force in that, and so are you.
Thank you. How about you?
Yes. Well,
Real quick.
with my marketing business, I plan to just connect with a lot of young people my age to get them interested in being entrepreneurs, business owners, and helping other people to do the same thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to list some words, and I want you just to, the first thing that comes to your mind related to business, commitment.
Commitment.
Yes.
Commitment means sticking to and keeping your word and keeping...
One word.
Wait,
I
one
love
word?
you.
I can't do one word.
I know.
Commitment. Staying spiritual. I'll just say that.
Patience.
Patience, lasting through adversity.
Laser focus.
Laser focus. Keeping sight of your vision.
Keeping the end in mind.
Keeping the end in mind.
Yes.
Tunnel vision.
Trial and error.
Being able to get up even when you fall down.
Recession.
Recession.
That's banned from my vocabulary, but recession.
Recession. Focus, I guess.
Kick it to the side. Staying in phase one, meaning staying creative.
Staying on your grind. Always keeping your mind open for new ideas.
Humble.
Humble. Being reasonable.
Being reasonable. And the last but yet important question, why do you think it's important for people to stay in tune with the Tahirah Show?
Oh, absolutely. It's informative. You're a young woman, up and coming. You have new ideas, and it's actually an opportunity for people to come on to the show who have ideas and things that they can share with the community.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of you.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think this show needs to be pushed every day because there's certain things that the community has to know about life and about handling life situations, and this is the time. The time is now. So
The time is now.
Yeah.
10 seconds each. Any final thoughts you would like to share with the viewing audience? And you can either look at me or look into the camera one.
Well, I'd like to let the community know that Street Corner Resources, right now we operate in Harlem. We are in need of funding for our educational and training programs. And we can be reached at 212-234-6511. And you can hear a segment of Street Corner Resources on Power 105. We're on Brother Kevin Muhammad Abdul Hafiz show. And on Harlem Live, 90.3 FM on Mondays from 8 to 9.
Ibrahim, any final thoughts you would like to share with the viewing audience?
I just want to thank Tahirah, first of all, for inviting me out. And the business, I'm going to be pushing it across the states, in Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, everywhere. So people look out for me, and my business is going to expand this year.
Thank you. I would like to thank my guests, my viewers, filming crew, thank you, Bronx Next, thank you. Inshallah, I will see you all next episode, which will be on health and fitness, the weight loss challenge. Assalamu alaikum.
So fly.